What if everything you were taught about money in school was a straight-up lie, not some small mistake? Man, I'm talking a deliberate, century-long cover-up so massive it makes Watergate look like a damn parking ticket. Tonight, we re-ripping the band-aid off the one story they absolutely do not want in your kid-s textbook. Buckle up, because by the time this video ends, every single dollar in your wallet is gonna feel dirty. Let's roll it back, like 5,000 years back, when money was actually real. Ancient Mesopotamia, you want a goat, you hand over a chunk of silver, weigh it right there on the spot. Done, no games. Rome figures out the first scam. Shaving edges off coins, mixing in junk metal. Same trick governments still run today, just with better printers. But the real mind-blower doesn't drop until the 1600s in London, when a couple goldsmiths stumble on the greatest cheat code in history. People are scared to keep gold at home. Bandits, fires, whatever. So they stash it with the local goldsmith, who's got the big vault. Goldsmith hands you a paper receipt. This note good for 100 ounces of gold anytime you walk in. Sounds legit, right? Here's where it gets evil. The goldsmith realizes almost nobody ever comes back for the actual gold. They just trade the receipts. So he says to himself, what if I write extra receipts for gold I don't even have, and loan those out at interest? Boom. Money out of thin air, and he's collecting interest on it. Fractional reserve banking just got born in some back room in London, and nobody batted an eye for a minute. Fast forward to 1694. England's broke from fighting non-stop wars. This slick dude William Patterson walks into Parliament with an offer you can't refuse. Me and my rich boys will start a private company called the Bank of England. We'll loan the government 1.2 million in gold. Except we're not really giving gold. We're printing paper notes and you pay us interest forever. Parliament's desperate, so they take the deal. In one single afternoon, a private cartel of bankers just hijacked Britain's entire money supply. They called it lending to the nation. Truth, the nation just got played for good. The founding fathers saw this scam from a mile away. Jefferson straight up warned, if the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, they'll take everything until your kids wake up homeless on the land their fathers conquered. Guess what we did anyway? 1791, Alexander Hamilton sneaks in the first bank of the United States, 80% privately owned. Andrew Jackson finally axes it in 1836, calls bankers a den of vipers, pays off the entire national debt. Only time America's ever been debt-free, and throws the wildest White House party in history. Bankers didn't cry, they just went darker. November 22, 1910, a private train car slips out of New Jersey in the dead of night. 6 men on board controlling about 1/4 of the planet's wealth. Nelson Aldrich, Rockefeller's lapdog in the Senate, Paul Warburg from Kuhn Loeb, J.P. Morgan's top lieutenants. They're headed to Jekyll Island, Georgia, Morgan's private playground. 9 days locked in a clubhouse. No staff, no records. Writing the future of money like it's a horror movie script. What they wrote becomes the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. They slide it through Congress on December 23rd when half the building's already gone home for Christmas. Woodrow Wilson signs it and years later confesses, I have unwittingly ruined my country. So what did the Fed actually do? Took the power to create money away from Congress, handed it to a private corporation that's about as federal as FedEx. Now every dollar the Treasury needs, they gotta borrow from this private Fed and pay interest on it forever. Where does the Fed get those dollars? They type numbers into a computer, literally thin air. Since 1913, your dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. That ain't natural inflation, bro. That's the biggest silent robbery ever pulled. 1971, Nixon cuts the last string to gold. Now money's backed by nothing but vibes and aircraft carriers. 2008, they crash the system on purpose. Bail out the banks with trillions we now owe. 0 jail time. 2020 to 2025. They print another 15 trillion. Call it stymie. Then act shocked when eggs are $10. Every single fix just locks the chains tighter. Right now, global debt is $305 trillion. That's 38 grand for every human walking the planet. Babies included US national debt, 36 trillion, and adding a trillion every 100 days. Unfunded liabilities, Social Security, Medicare, Another 150 trillion on top? Who owns all that debt? Not China, not grandma's savings account. The same mega banks and primary dealers who own the Federal Reserve shares. They create money for zero cost, lend it to us, collect interest forever, and when we can't pay, they scoop up the real assets. Houses, land, businesses, biggest wealth transfer in human history, running 24/7. And most people still think the problem is taxes. Every 40 to 80 years the system hits the wall, and they run the same 4-step playbook. 1. Inflate a monster bubble. 2. Pop it right on schedule. 3. Buy everything for pennies while everybody panics. 4. Roll out the new and improved system that gives them even more control. We're deep in step 3 right now, and step 4 is already typed up. 3 brutal takeaways you can't unhear. Number 1. The dollars in your bank are not wealth. They're debt wearing a money costume. Every single one was borrowed into existence, and somebody's gotta pay interest on it. Number 2. Central banking isn't a glitch. It is the entire game. Give a private cartel monopoly power to print money from nothing, and they will own everything, eventually. Number 3. History didn't erase itself. Somebody paid top dollar to make sure you never heard the real version. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. They're not even pretending anymore. Central bank digital currencies, programmable money, social credit scores, they're rolling it out in broad daylight while we argue about red versus blue. The cage door is swinging shut, and most people are still fighting over what color the bars should be. If this video just cracked your brain open even a little, do 3 quick things. Smash that like button so the algorithm knows truth still counts. Drop in the comments the year you think the next big reset drops. I read every single one. And share this video with one friend who still thinks the Federal Reserve is part of the government. Subscribe, hit the bell, because next week we're re-exposing the one asset they re-terrified you LL stack before everything changes. Stay dangerous, stay free, and I'll catch you in the next one.